have just had one of those times where things don't go as planned. And I cried out, "Where are you, Lord?" So, over the months, I had been seeing my doctor. I'd had numerous tests. And eventually, I ended up speaking to my surgeon. So here I was, laid out on the operating table, everyone in gowns and masks, all the lights were on, and everyone was ready to start. Everyone was in position. I'm just trying to look nervous, just laying there, waiting to be put to sleep. And then nothing. No one was moving. I hear some mumblings among the nursing staff, but can't quite make out what they're saying. Eventually, the surgeon leans over me with mask in my face, and he says, "I'm very sorry, Mr. Wool, we can't continue with this operation. We have no anaesthetist." Oh, gee, I was absolutely devastated. I spent the past few weeks preparing myself mentally and prayerfully for this operation. Now what? And in my head, I said, "Well, where are you now, Lord?" 1 week later, I was back on the operating table. This time, the surgery went ahead. However, I awoke in severe pain with tubes everywhere and a rather large catheter attached to me. Oh, and the pain. "Where are you now, Lord?" I cried in my thoughts. The next few days, weeks, in fact, the next month was horrific and the pain intolerable. I call this little name for it. I ended it calling it modern medical torture that no male should ever have to go through. And 2 weeks after the surgery, I ended up with a UTI infection and I was extremely sick. Where are you now, Lord? Another week later, both Alzuni and I went down with severe COVID. "Oh, where are you, Lord?" I cried. Yet no answers were forthcoming. And, you know, if you get something out of this video from what I'm sharing, then what I went through and what Alzuni went through is really, really worth it, because I hope at the end of this, just to encourage you. See, months later, like now, I'm feeling much better. But I must confess, at the time, I had no definitive answers. But an explanation is called for us to remain in a strong relationship with God. And here it is. See, we are called to live by faith, and faith alone, not by sight, not by touch, not by feel, not by receiving the miraculous every time something goes wrong in our tiny little lives, but pure, unadulterated faith. In other words, in spite of everything, we still believe. We still hold on to God. See, that is faith in its highest level. The Apostle Paul referred to our faith as a race to be run, a physical and spiritual battle to be fought. Of course, Paul knew suffering far beyond what many of us will ever go through. Yet he spoke these immortal words to encourage us when God appears to have abandoned us. And this comes from Philippians 3:14. And Paul, I could almost hear him shouting this: "I press on towards the goal to win the prize for which God has called me heavenward in Christ Jesus." Now let me just leave you with these incredible words from the book of Revelation. And they come from Revelation 3, verses 10 through to 13. And Jesus Christ says this: since you have kept my command to endure patiently, I will also keep you from the hour of trial that is going to come on the whole world to test the inhabitants of the earth. I'm coming soon. Hold on to what you have so that no one will take your crown. The one who is victorious, I will make a pillar in the temple of my God. Never again will they leave it. I will write on them the name of my God and the name of the city of my God, the New Jerusalem, which is coming down out of heaven from my God. And I will also write on them my new name. Thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting. And may God bless you.